Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello. How are you doing, Ginger?
Hey, good. How you, girl?
I'm good. My COPD's acting up tonight, but I'm good.
Oh, You know, I was recently diagnosed with that too.
Really?
About November, but
Yeah.
they put me on Symbicort for it.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, I wasn't diagnosed with Alzheimer's, Nugget.
Uh, that's
But
what
I
my
will die.
kids. My kids say that.
I mean, I may have some timers. Sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't.
Okay, we got
Hey, Betty.
Barb is in here and Betty Dan Boop's in here.
Hey, Barb.
BB's here.
BB.
BB, I just love your comments. Thank you. She leaves the sweetest comments.
BB's pretty awesome, I tell you. That's my
Yes.
girl.
I
That's my
know we've
girl.
got we've got some pretty um good people that come over here, and
Yeah.
uh, there's a lot that comes in toxicities that's really good people too.
And Barb's.
And Barb's, yes, and Barb's. I keep missing them. I'm always tied up in something else, and then I'm always late, real late. Oh,
I tell you,
how
half
are
the
you
time it's
doing,
like
Barb and Betty? How are y'all doing?
I'll put the notification on for a live, right? And then
Yeah,
I don't, and then it was like I'll get the notification, but it's halfway into the live, or what?
yeah. I have not been getting hardly any notifications at all. And then when I do, it's way like three-fourths into it sometimes.
Exactly. And then you go over as soon as you get the notification, and it's been going on for 45 minutes
Yeah.
to an hour, and you're like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah. Like they just now notified me. I know. Oh yeah, B's and G's. Yep. And BB. How's BB doing? I don't know if Pikachu's gonna be here tonight. Um, she hasn't gotten in touch with me. Hello, Kelly Cares. She's here.
Hey, hey, Kelly.
I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see that, all that's going on around everybody is not, uh, got our people all beat down.
Right? Right?
Oh my goodness. The things, it just keeps getting more and more serious.
I know.
I
I mean,
mean,
I've been labeled a mean girl today. So,
uh,
okay.
you were? And who
I
did
was,
that?
I ain't getting into it.
Oh, okay. Well, you can
Nobody,
tell me that later.
nobody worth mention.
Oh, well, then I know who it is then.
No, it's a friend of nobody worth mention.
Oh, oh, is it?
hmm
Oh, that's wonderful.
You know how people like to do things and keep their hands clean, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I do. No, I know that firsthand.
it's like early. You know who's behind it, but you're like, nah, whatever.
Right. Right.
And it's like if you got to spend that much, yeah, like I'm on here 24/7. Yeah, sure, okay.
I just laugh at them. I mean, they're hilarious.
It's like,
These
dude,
people,
you got to be on 24/7 in a monitor when I'm on.
I know, right? I laugh at them because it's hysterical at the time and the effort they put into hating people on here.
hmm
I'm surprised that they don't just have just total negativity all around them when they try to go to bed at night.
Well, the thing is, it's you're not allowed an opinion because if it opposes somebody else's opinion, then you're a horrible person. That's not how the
Right,
world works. I mean, come on, think outside. See, that's when you get people that are lack self-awareness
right,
or the ability to see other points of view. I mean,
right.
yeah, it's like no, you're ignorant. Yeah.
You have to be able to see everybody's points of view. Even if I
Mhm.
don't like that person and I know that person is wrong, I still look at their side. I still
Exactly.
look at it because you never know where they're coming from. And a lot of people, I mean, they're coming from the people that's been in their ear instead of facts, you know?
Well, that's the thing is when you go on hearsay or
Toxicity's here.
whisperings, then you're
Hmm.
then that's where you get yourself in trouble, right?
Right. And I don't respect people. Like, if somebody is in my ear telling me not to like someone because something that they're doing to them, I lose respect for that person if they're trying to get me to turn on somebody because of what they're going through.
Exactly. Like, okay, when you came to me about the situation you were in a while back,
Hmm.
you
Right.
didn't ask me to, you did not ask me, hey, jump on the bandwagon.
Right.
You just said, I need another impartial set of eyes. That's what you said. I need
Right.
somebody outside of this to see if I'm seeing this right. That's all.
Right.
You didn't ask me, and I'm like, yeah, that's what it looks like. I'm sorry,
Right. Right.
you know,
And I
you
didn't
didn't,
want to overreact, and I needed somebody with a level head, because I didn't want to overreact and just, you know, go off
yeah,
half cocked,
no,
because I've done that before.
yes,
And
you were actually reaching out to have like an impartial opinion. That's
right,
it.
and I was crushed, and I was crushed, and I just didn't think that I thought my judgment might be off.
Yeah, that it might be skewed
But,
in some way. Yeah,
yeah,
and you know, it is what it is, and
right.
luckily it's over and gone and in the
I
past.
know. I'm happy now. I mean, I'm a lot happier now.
Oh yeah,
I'm a lot happier.
yeah,
I
and
mean,
yet,
at least I'm around people that I can trust. I mean, I know I can trust them, and I don't have to worry about that anymore. So
hey,
toxicity's here. Hi,
hey,
toxicity.
hey, Toxie.
I'm happy to see her here.
There's the Foxy Toxie.
Uh, I try to go in her lives. I'm always late to them too, but I
That's
always
what I
try to go
mean.
in and say hi.
That's one of the people. Her and Barbara keep getting these like notifications
I
halfway
know.
through, and I'm like, wait a minute. I freaking put the, like when you see it
Yeah,
scheduled ahead of time, boom. I click
right,
that little bell to make sure.
right. And I do that, and I've even unsubscribed and resubscribed, to try to get it to where I get notified, and it still does the same thing. YouTube is just don't have all their departments, running smoothly. I think. And I guess TikTok is back temporary, right?
Yeah, they said it was like a 3 week uh, extension until they could
Yeah.
figure out how to get some United States company to buy it. I think.
Oh wow.
I don't
I
know.
think that I think that one guy will buy it. Elon Musk. Elon.
Elon Musk.
Hmm.
Tell you what, I have the
I
biggest
think he
crush on
will.
Elon Musk.
You do?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
I
funny.
like I like weirdos.
Oh, really? Oh, that's so funny.
I like smart guys.
Yeah, my husband's a smart guy. He was a
That's
nerd.
cruel. That's cruel. You're that smart. Like Nugget said, and you shouldn't have married my dad.
Oh,
Hey, I
hey,
like to be nice,
you never
Nugget.
know how he presented himself back then. Now it's been a while, hasn't it?
Just because you're smarter than him, but you're also smarter than me, so there's that.
Yeah, our kids are turning out to be smarter, aren't they?
I tell you, they are. They are.
And then my grandkids, they just roll me in the floor. I'm telling you, I can't believe how smart they are.
I know. It's like my granddaughter used to be that, like, even when she was like 6, 7 years old, she'd be like coming over, can you do something about your daughter?
I was watching a horror movie, Toxicity, and she was watching Deadly Women on YouTube.
I swear there are probably some deadly women on this YouTube, on the actual
Oh,
YouTube.
well, there is. I mean, look at all the real life things that happen on you. I mean, with YouTube.
Mm. Well, the people like looking into this and looking into that, and or let's be honest, one of the coolest. Okay, look at Barb and Toxie, right? Two of the most
Hmm.
laid back, neutral people out here, right?
Right.
And then if they say something, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God,
Oh
you
no.
know what I mean? It's the end of the world. And
I
and then we
know.
got shorts and we got clips and we got, oh my God, let's not even, I was gonna say, and then we had Nikki freaking out about not even what toxicity that one live toxie had, you know? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I went in there and the chat was mean. All the chat even said is, wow, that's just, I'm sad that that happened to her friend. I mean, friends don't treat friends like that. That's all that was said. Nobody was dragging her or picking on her, you know? It was just
And they
like,
think
oh,
it's just the end of the world that her chat said anything.
right. And then it kind of went back on her, and it's not right because she
No.
was she was presenting things neutrally,
Right.
and it was basically, look at the name of her channel, Toxicity
Hmm.
of Social Media. That was
Right.
a toxic situation. Am I wrong?
Right.
I
And
mean,
and Toxicity knows that I think she's got her head on her shoulders pretty good, that she knows that the people that matter are going to see it for what it is, and the ones that don't are going to fly off, and go the wrong direction.
and then Barb, man, like I said, she's one of the coolest people out here. It's
I
like,
know she is.
really? How could you find
Yes, she
anything wrong
is.
with Barb?
Yeah.
I laugh at that. It's like, really? How can you find anything wrong with Barb? I mean,
I was
you
I
know,
was where Barb lived last weekend.
oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, but it was so late at night. Uh, we went to a casino there for a little bit. So with my kids.
You know what? I just was on the phone with my nephew, not last night, but the night before, and he lives in Arkansas. And where's it? Fayetteville is where
Oh
he
yeah.
lives. And yeah, we talked for like 3 hours, you know.
Oh,
And it's, well, I, how do I put this? When he was born, my sister went through, I would guess it would be the baby blues, you know. She went through
yeah.
postpartum depression because she was in labor with him for 72 hours, and then they had to do an
Yeah.
emergency C-section. And she just, when we got home from the hospital, didn't want anything to do with him, you know. And
Mhm.
she had moved back home when she was pregnant, and I was a teenager still living at home.
Yeah.
So I was like 17, I believe, 16 or 17 when he was born. Yeah, I think 16 and a half. But
I'm sorry. There's Beckachu. Barb, I lost my ass. And Beckachu's here. We just been talking till you got here, girl. I guess. Here, go ahead and talk. Go
finally,
ahead.
finally, Becky G. Um, then I was like, okay, so we were talking, and he was going through something because his mom passed away in 2020. My sister did, and they always had a like strenuous relationship because they never really bonded.
Yeah.
And he bonded with me and bonded with my mom because we took care of him.
Yeah.
And dude, I potty trained him.
Wow.
Everything. It was like I taught him to toss a spiral. I did everything with this kid. You know what I mean? And then he ended up, when he was 13, he lived with me and my husband and my kids for a while. And then when he was 16, 17, he came and lived with us, you know. But before
Yeah.
that, he was at our house every weekend, every holiday. And he would joke around and say it was like split custody. He would call me dad.
Oh wow.
I'm
That's
going to my
funny.
dad. I'm going to my dad's.
There, that's for you, Becca Chew, StreamYard. Or anybody else that wants to come up here, y'all are more than welcome to come up here. We're not picky. Go ahead. So is that the one that you got to talk to for all that?
Yeah, yeah, we were talking and he was talking about moving back up here. And I'm like, you don't want to move back up here. He goes, it's so lovely down here. He goes, Dad, it's so lovely down here.
Oh,
But he wanted to check up on everybody because, all my kids are like, I don't know how to put it, like siblings to him, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
He he thinks of himself as my oldest kid.
Wow. Isn't that amazing when you have one like that?
Yeah. I mean, he got himself in trouble here and there because of the, things he went through growing up with his mom. Being shuffled around, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um, he got into legal trouble here and there. Let's say he's the one that did some time, you know.
yeah.
One of them for stealing a riding lawnmower because he was high on pot.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, you are an idiot. No.
My cat got into some catnip the other night, and you ought to seen him. Oh my lord. I never seen him like that before.
Oh my God, yeah. I've got these kittens. Well, I say kittens because they're under a year. Freddie and Galileo. They
Yeah.
are under a year old, and yeah, giving them catnip, and they're all over the place.
Oh,
They bounce off. They bounce off the walls.
mine goes to sleep. Mine goes to sleep.
Mine follows our Galileo. He follows my husband around, and like my husband will take a nap at like 1 or 2 in the afternoon,
Yeah,
and that cat will run back there every afternoon and go lay on that bed before my husband.
yeah. Becca, she'll be right back. She's got to go pick up her Walmart order.
Okay.
Oh, I had one delivered to me yesterday, or day before yesterday.
Right.
Oh,
We get them to the door, and then we also have to pick them up. You know.
oh yeah,
Well, I mean, our between the prescriptions and stuff.
yeah. We were getting a lot. My husband used to go and pick ours up too. And I started having them delivered.
Yeah, for some reason, like because my husband's on Medicare, you
Yeah,
can get you get a deal where you can have it delivered to your door, and you get
yeah,
a deal with Amazon and Walmart for
yeah,
free delivery. So
yeah,
he's got that. So he'll order stuff, if we don't feel like going anywhere, or you know,
yeah,
we don't feel like making 100 trips to Walmart.
yeah. I
But I
know.
still I still end up making 10 trips to Walmart every week anyway because I
Yeah,
my son works there, but it's a different Walmart than my prescriptions go to. So
I am.
lots of
I did something. Oh, okay.
go for it.
Okay. No, I almost pushed the end button. It was on. There was a. My phone is messed up still. I have not went and got me a new phone yet, and it just does whatever it wants sometimes. Honey, you got it too hot in here. Oh, it's too hot in here.
I
I have
know,
hot
BB,
flashes.
because
Go
when I
ahead.
was on the phone with him, he was like, my girls were one of them goes, I had made dinner earlier, but I had made hamburgers, and they don't like hamburgers. And yeah, Nugget wasn't hungry yet when I made dinner. And then Sage is like, well, I guess I'll make my own dinner and made herself some like rice or something. You know,
Oh
one of those
yeah.
macaroni dinners, right? And then later, Nuggy says, now I'm hungry or something like that while I was on the phone with my nephew. And he's like, seriously? They're, teenagers and they can't fend for themselves? Yeah, and then that's Nuggy is like, well, we can. That's what mom's for, basically. And he goes, and I know you. He goes, I know you. You'll be hopping on it. Because
Yep.
he goes, because you bake and you cook. And
You
he
like
goes,
doing all that stuff. I've gotten well since I got sick. I got to where I didn't like doing it as much,
right.
so I kind of got out of the habit of doing it.
I said, well, I don't really like to cook, but gotta. And then he goes, yeah, but you always have dinner on the table at the same time every night. And you name the night, and
Yeah.
it's like 5:30 every night, you know? And he goes, and then he goes, you've always been like that. And he goes, I miss living down, like his mom moved down the street from me for a couple years, right? And he goes, I miss when I wasn't living with you, living down the street, because I knew that 5:30 came around, all I had to do is walk in the door and I'd get fed. Because my
That's
sister
me.
didn't cook. She didn't cook. She didn't clean. It
Yeah.
it was you know fend for yourselves. Or then her kids would be
Yeah.
like, yeah. When they moved down the street from me, they're like, well, we don't have to fend for ourselves. Boom, boom, boom. They would be up because I had this back window. I had a kitchen
Oh,
window, and they'd be looking in the window, and I'm like, get
all
your asses
anything.
in here, like.
Oh, every time I cook, I feed the neighborhood though. The toxicity, that case that got toxicity is covering about that baby.
Yeah.
Um, oh my god, I can't believe her mother. I cannot believe the audacity of that mother. I
What
can't.
the one where she pulled, yeah, the Nick
Yeah.
cord. Oh my
Yes,
God.
you know, just to get what a drink brought to her or something.
Yes,
That's
because
crazy.
nurses are waitresses, obviously.
Just awful. I can't. I just
Yeah.
can't. That's one of the
Yes.
most awful situations that I've ever heard of.
Nugget just said that. Nugget goes, are you talking about the lady who pulled that Nick unit cord to get a turkey sandwich? Like, yes,
Yeah,
everybody
oh,
knew.
wasn't it? It was a sandwich, wasn't it? Not a drink. Yeah, that's right. She's
Sandwich.
wanting a sandwich.
And then she goes, some people are just not cut out to be parents.
They're not.
Oh, not meant to be parents. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she was not meant. And you know they're crazy if they let that baby go home with her. I hope they don't.
But listen to our stories.
Yeah, they like listening to your stories.
Oh, well, you know what? That's what's so funny. I'm just like, oh, you and I are both like that. We're just open and honest. We don't care. We don't
I
care.
know.
We're not
We
hiding
tell our
anything.
stories. We don't care about that. I
Yeah,
mean,
why hide who we are? I mean, come on. I'm not perfect.
right. I can't be somebody else besides myself because
Nope.
I want to tell things. I want to talk about things and tell stories. You
Mhm.
know that went on uh, in my lifetime, and you can't do that if you're dishonest about who you are on here. And those people never tell those stories either.
No,
Um,
because they're too busy trying to hide behind fake personas.
right,
You know.
and going after other people being ugly and full of hate, and they can't tell wonderful stories because the only stories they have is the ones that are full of hate.
Really
And
vindictive or malicious stories, right? Probably.
yeah,
Where they are afraid to be vulnerable and be themselves. Could you bring me a hot chocolate when you pick me up? Maybe my son. Sorry, I read that out loud. See how open and honest I am? I just read a message
yeah.
from my son.
Can you pick me up a hot chocolate?
Yeah, he wants me to pick him up a hot chocolate on my way to pick him
Yeah,
up from work.
her family is so sweet. Just your family dynamic, the way it works.
He does that if they put him out to because he's the cashier or whatever at Walmart. But when they have, well, still, anyway, but he works the front end like that, and then
Yeah.
sometimes they'll get on the weekends, a whole bunch of people will call in. The cart pushers will call in, and he
Yeah.
volunteers to go do it, and he'll be pushing carts in the cold. And then he's like, "Mom, can you get me some hot chocolate?" Or once in a while,
Oh.
he'll be like, "Mom, I ran out of money and I don't have money for lunch." Or, I'm like, "Yeah, it's okay, baby. I got you."
Oh. That's
He's gonna,
sweet.
and it's crazy. He's gonna be 26, but I got you, baby.
Yeah. I know. I've got one that's 40. He's a big baby.
I'm sure all my kids are gonna be my babies
Yeah. I know. That's
forever.
what I tell them. They're gonna realize they'll always be my baby.
But Nuggy will be my ultimate baby because she's the baby of the babies. So
She is gonna be the baby, isn't she? The baby, baby.
forever, forever, she's stuck being the baby.
Listen to her. See, we have our kids going on in the background. My kids are here. They have to say put their 2 cents worth in, and people complain about hearing that in the background. We don't care. I mean, if y'all don't want to listen to our families and stuff in the background, then this is not the place for you because that's gonna happen.
Right. Right? We're gonna keep living our lives. I mean, I'm not gonna shut
Right,
my kid in. I'm not gonna shut my kid off in a room so I can
right,
be on the internet, on
right,
YouTube. It's
right.
just not gonna happen, and she wouldn't let it happen because
Yeah, you talking about me?
she goes, "Gate put me." What'd you say, babe?
She is so much like you. I swear.
She said, "I'm gonna pick a lot. You're gonna put me in a room."
she, she would too, wouldn't she?
I didn't say I'd lock you in there. Oh yeah, I did, didn't I? Yeah, you're right. And nah, I said
She
there
is so
ain't
much
no.
like you,
She's saucier than me though.
and
She
she
is.
reminds me of your younger self. I bet you.
You know what
You
she?
just probably calmed down because you've aged.
No, actually, I was kind of saucy when I was her age, but I
Hmm.
mean, I wasn't as saucy as her because it's like if I talked that saucy to my mom, I wouldn't have
Yeah.
lips. Like
Oh, I never did
it's
talk
a
like
whole
that to my
different.
mom, but I was pretty a handful.
Oh no, I mean, yeah, I get it. And
And I have
she's so
calmed down a lot since I've aged. I have calmed down a lot.
yeah, and my kids are like, I remember my oldest when she was in high school got in trouble, and it's because she voiced her opinion on a certain thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was a political stance or something, and I'm like, you can't talk to you know, you can't talk to your teachers like that. And she goes, Mom, you raised us. You raised us to speak our
I know.
mind. You told us that we had certain inalienable rights. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this bite me in the ass.
I would tell my parents that my mom that I would be like, you told me if they're wrong, they're wrong. Just because they're
Right,
school teachers doesn't make them right if they're wrong.
right.
But, I love my fur babies too. Talk to see.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
Mine just went to the groomer last week, and I'm so happy. They just sleep so good after they go to the groomer for 2 or 3 weeks after they go. They sleep so good. I
Yep.
don't know. I don't think that you have to take a cat to the groomer. I don't know. I have never raised a cat. I guess
Well,
I'll find out.
you have to sometimes with a Maine Coon or
Yeah,
the big long-haired cats. Sometimes you have to trim their back out the
yeah,
back of their by their butt sometimes,
yeah.
so they don't get no yuckies in their
Oh,
fur.
yeah. I guess so. Yeah, I guess that would have to be done.
And brush them.
Yeah, I brush him.
Our
I
our
brush
girl was
him as long as he tolerates it.
our
Uh,
girl is like half Maine Coon or something. One of
mm,
we're like, what the huh? Yeah, she's a torty Maine Coon next.
40 Maine Coon.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I thought at first she was fluffy until she's like within 6 months she was bigger than a full grown cat.
I know. Ours is way bigger than a full grown cat.
Oh, but oh my goodness, aren't they huge? The Maine Coons
Yeah.
are just so loving,
And like
so
my son,
loving.
we took him on our trip when we went to Arkansas, and my son's cat, he has full grown female cats, and
Hmm.
he makes them look like kittens. I was
Oh,
like,
Betty, you got a Maine Coon too?
oh,
Join the
Betty does
club.
too.
Betty's in our club.
Oh wow, I can't believe that.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about with the.
There's a guy in 411 Now's chat, and he
Mhm.
has two full blood Maine Coons.
Oh my goodness, and those guys get mad.
Yeah,
The full-blooded ones get real big. I've seen. I you know what you look at when you see it in your stream, right? I get a whole
yeah.
bunch of shorts with the Maine Coons and stuff.
Oh yeah,
God, they're gorgeous.
they are. I watch those now. Those cat videos, the Maine
Oh my
Coons,
God,
and
they're so
mine started.
loving.
He started talking. He started saying hello to me, and he
Hmm.
says it
Yep.
just as plain as day. I
I
cannot
will.
believe he can
Yeah.
say hello.
Well, mine goes meow, meow,
This one
meow.
goes hello. I'm telling you, he
Yeah,
says
thank you for
hello.
getting me. She goes meow. You want to go outside? Meow. And then she's gonna run up and get on the couch
Oh,
because she likes going in and out.
yeah, ours has got a girlfriend here. I never
Oh
had
my.
a cat before. This is the first one I've had. I mean, my kids have had them, but they took care of them. I never had one of, for myself. I just never was interested in cats until this little dude come along, and he is our baby. He's such a baby.
Well, the youngest cat we have, he will like he's the one. He sleeps with between me and my husband, right?
Yeah,
And so does the Maine Coon, but she'll lay at a different part of the bed, and it's like he makes fun of the fact that like we both have to have different blankets, me and my husband,
yeah,
right? Because he has to have a lighter one, and I have to have the fluffier one, and then
yeah,
I sleep with six pillows, and he sleeps with a body pillow. Like
yeah.
imagine all that on a queen size bed plus a big Maine Coon and another cat.
Toxicity says she's allergic to cats. My older
Aw,
son is allergic to cats, and he wanted cats so bad that he stuck it out until the swelling went down in his eyes, and he would have them anyway. He wouldn't care.
my sister was allergic to cats too, right? But she loved them so much that she went on allergy meds for it just so
Isn't
she could have them.
that something?
And she's the only one out of all eight of us that has that allergy. It's weird.
Wow. And he's the only one in our family that we know of. But, but all of us in here, like, um, all of us in here has animals. I mean, like all the ones that we hang with. I mean, like, they either had dogs or cats,
Well,
and
I
they
mean,
love their animals.
I had two. I had two Chiweenies, but one of them died July 4th, and the other one died. Was it the first week of November, or was it
Yeah,
around Halloween? Yeah, it was after Halloween because
yeah,
we lost him. They were both from the same litter too, so I think that had
yeah.
something to do with it. They were litter
No,
mates, and he passed away, and then not even 5 days later, we lost our sweet baby lady, our
yeah.
sweet diva. She was she was Nugget's girl, little.
Yeah.
girl. She was like 14.
Yeah. Nugget
I
needs to
was,
go pick her out an animal too. When she's
yeah,
ready.
she did. She got one. She got Galileo. That's the kitten. Her sister
Oh,
got her
she
that.
did?
She got Galileo. I want to say what 3 weeks after Diva. I'm sorry, baby, that I brought her up. Oh, she's sad
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Nobody could replace your Diva. I know that, baby girl.
No.
Oh my gosh, that cat was so mellow. But
Yeah.
but the other cats would listen to her. She'd be like, meow.
Uh,
She ruled the roost. The dogs even did too. Everybody listened to that cat. Like they did nobody messed with her.
yeah. Well,
All
I
she had to
know.
do was
I feel for people that are allergic to them too, Betty, because I seen what my son suffered through just to have his cats. He wanted his cats so bad. But he had dogs
oh,
and cats. He would pick up every stray. He's the one that has the farm. It doesn't surprise me one bit because he used to pick up every stray there was and bring it home.
oh my goodness.
Every day there'd be a new stray at my house.
I remember at one point we had three cats, and then
Oh,
we had uh we had a pretty big house. We had three cats, and it was cold out because it was Christmas, around Christmas time. And in our family room, we had this real tall, like 8 foot tree in it, right? All decked
yeah.
out. And we came in just in time to see our lab that we let in. You know, we had her in, and we had this lab named Tootsie Roll. She was a chocolate lab, right? Watching
Oh,
her, watching her chase the cats up the Christmas tree, and then she got caught up in it, and we were laughing. Because she was dragging this 8 foot tree around our family
oh
room.
no. Oh
And we
no.
had seen that. Like she went up there, got caught in the lights and pulled it
Yeah.
over. She got clear to the top of the tree too. Like the lab just cat jumped
I
down.
remember, I remember when they were making such a big deal of Jessica's her cats getting tangled up in the lights. That was the craziest mess I ever seen. And them getting
They they do that because okay, this year, we put up about a 6 foot, 6.5 foot tree, right? And it's like a pre-lit, like white Christmas tree.
yeah.
And we had that little kitten. Now the other ones didn't go near the tree, right? They thought it was weird. He kept getting in it and he kept knocking the bulbs off the tree
Oh
and then
wow.
chasing the bulbs around. So we go pick up the bulbs. Then he took the garland off. But it was pre-lit, so he couldn't get caught up in the lights, right? But
Right.
still, he kept getting in there and sitting in that Christmas tree and then jumping out at the other cat.
Oh goodness.
And I'm like, geez, animals are, you know.
They're
And then
amazing.
I would just put the bulbs back on the tree.
Yeah. Because,
We got
they
Christmas
say
tree.
that cats don't get it when you tell them no, but mine does. He stops what he's
Mhm.
doing. But they say that they just don't really, it doesn't register that they're doing anything wrong.
I know.
And I
I
believe
know.
I believe that too, because mine gets my mascara and baps it down the hall, and he gets into my stuff, and he'll knock my stuff off of the chair that I'm on. He doesn't the phone. He'll get on my phone and change my channel on my phone.
You know what? I think they do have the capability because it's like, with mine, if they get like if the bigger kitty, the Maine Coon gets too rough with the two little ones,
Uh
I'm
huh.
like, be nice, and then she'll calm down and she'll start
Yeah.
like being a little more like when they're playing, she'll be more careful, like, be nice. And like, or when they get ornery, I tell them, be nice, and they start like, "Woo,"
I've
but
got
they
holes
don't.
in my arms where mine has tried to attack my arm, and it's because his daddy lets him attack him, and I got him to where he wouldn't attack me. And then every once in a while, he'll stick a hole in my arm every once in a while. Kelly says my cat is a runt. She is 13 years old and the size. of a 1-year-old kitten. Oh, but she's bossy with other
Oh
animals
yeah.
like she is. Large and in charge. That's
Oh
funny.
yeah. It's.
My
I think
little
it
Shih
has to
Tzu
be.
thinks she's a big old elephant. I mean, she bosses everything around here. We have to watch her because she's gonna get attacked one of these days. We have to watch her really close because she'll attack, other animals and stuff
Oh,
and
Betty,
people.
honey. I'm sorry,
She'll bite
honey.
people. What happened?
You lost your chicken.
Oh, I'm sorry, Betty.
And you know
I
what?
know
Those
my son.
chickens are.
He lost a couple of chickens and he was heartbroken.
Yeah, but I mean, chickens. What's cool about them? They imprint. You know that
Yeah,
they imprint. I did that like what was it? Sixth grade. We had in science class. Okay, you gotta. I grew up in Kansas, right? So they have this
yeah.
thing where we were all excited because in sixth grade you got to incubate eggs. They had an incubator in the science lab.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So you got to incubate eggs and when you got to take them home, like whatever.
Oh, wow.
And I got six of my eggs to hatch. All six of my eggs hatched. Not everybody's
Wow.
all their eggs hatched, but I took my little chicks home, right? And because
Yeah.
we were there while they were hatching, and they imprinted. So
Right.
I was walking around and I had these six little chicken chicks following me around, right? Like my yard and
Oh,
everything else, right?
yeah.
Well, this was during tornado season. Okay. So I had these little chicks and I had them in a box, like in a like blanket, and then I had a heat lamp to keep them warm, right?
Yeah.
And there was like warnings going on everywhere. And
Yeah.
I had to go, I didn't have a basement, right? I know a stupid thing not to have a basement accessible. Well, we had a basement, but you had to get to it through the outside and down a ladder, and the ladder was unknown. It was a creepy
Yeah.
freaking
Yeah.
cellar, basically, and I wasn't going in there. And so I put them, turned the heat lamp off, put them under, like slid them
Yeah.
under my bed. Well, when I went, I ran 6 blocks to my best friend's house and, went in their basement because my mom was at work, right? And my
Yeah.
brother was off with his at his friend's farm and he was in a basement. So I ran across town to my friends, right? I come back the next morning and part of the roof had peeled off
Oh my
and my
goodness.
and my little chicks been up in a tornado.
Oh no.
Not one of them lived.
That's sad.
I was like, dang it. And I had them all like named like
I'm trying to make it you. I'm trying to. I'm trying to. Oh, there it goes. Okay, there you go. Keep going. I'm just trying to get back at you up here.
oh make it cheese.
She's back. She's back. She made
Yay.
it back.
I miss Pikachu.
I know. Let's see. There she is. Okay. There she is.
Hey,
Hey,
Welcome
girl.
back.
sorry, I'm late. I'm here.
It's okay. It's okay. Um, do you have the second interview with Brandon?
All right. So do you
I
want?
swear next week I'll be doing it myself.
You're fine. I don't mind helping. Um. So like let me bring it up actually. So we listened to the November 6th one. So the
Uh-huh.
next interview in line is actually an incident report. It's just a um investigation report. Do you want me just to
Okay.
read it to you guys?
Yeah.
If you go ahead here, share screen. Um, is this it? Yeah. Here,
Okay.
I'm sharing my screen.
Okay. and it's not popping up for me to approve it.
It should be. It should be like I think in the backstage area with
Let me
guests
look.
and stuff like that.
Okay, let me look. Gotcha. I got it. Oh, that's how you do it. Okay.
Yeah,
I forgot. Okay. Got it.
yeah. So this is actually the second time that police officers, investigators talked to Brendan after the November. Here, let me bring it up again.
Okay, Betty.
Because if you go to BrendanDassey.com and you go to case files, everything is in the exact order as it happens.
Yeah.
So, report mentions an interview done on Brendan on November 10th and a follow-up from November 6th. So this was filed on November 13th. So this is actually occurrence on the 10th, which was after the 4 days after the 6th. So he was talked to alone, but it wasn't recorded or anything. And you can see. Can you guys see this? Okay.
Yes, I can. Can everybody in chat see it?
Let me see if I zoom in. This is the investigation report that they filed on the 13th, but it's from the 10th.
Okay.
Interview Brendan Dsseay about Teresa Marie Halbach. And then, here's all the official stuff. And then the address where they were, which was in Crivets. Interview location. And then, but Brendan, this is Brendan's actual address when he was living in his mom's house next to Steven's trailer.
Uh-huh.
And then related subjects, you got Brendan interviewed, and then these are the people that Brendan mentioned in the interview. Person of interest at that time was also Steven's son, Steven Jr. Isn't that interesting?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Subject of interest is Avery Salvatore. But this is actually one of the few times I've actually seen anybody mention Steven's son, Jr. So I think that's interesting. But anyway. So here's the actual report. On Thursday, November 10th, 2005, at approximately 12:05 p.m., Kim, and I can't pronounce these last names, Skorlinski, and investigator Todd Bodwin of Marionette County Sheriff's Department interviewed Brendan R. Dsseay, and there's his birthday, outside his grandfather's residence and in front at Crivets, basically. And the Crivets is the town. It's like this little mountain town at the very top somewhere in Wisconsin. And it's next, it's where everybody, I guess, in Wisconsin likes to go vacation and hunt and stuff like that. So when a lot of people, especially in Brendan's family, saying they're going up north to their cabin up north, or they're going to go hunting up north, they're talking about the Crivets area.
Okay.
This was a follow-up interview with Dsseay. While this interview was being conducted, Kara Schallhorn and officers Mike Hoppett of the Marionette County Sheriff's Department were obtaining buccal swabs. I think that's in the mouth swabs. And fingerprints and palm prints from Dsseay's grandfather, Alan K. Avery. That's his grandfather, yeah. Inside the residence, pursuant to a search warrant. He asked Dsseay if he remembered the interview from Sunday in the car, the tick, tick, tick video, and he said yes. He said he had a few more questions for Dsseay regarding the disappearance of Teresa Halbach. Dsseay was asked when the last time his family had a fire in the fire ring besides his mother's residence. Dsseay said it was probably his brother Bobby's graduation party. Dsseay was asked if that was a high school graduation party in the spring, and he said yes. Dsseay was asked when the last time his uncle had a fire in the pit behind his residence, and more specifically behind his garage. He said it was either last Tuesday night, November 1st, or Wednesday night, November 2nd, but he thinks it was Wednesday night. Dsseay said he was hoping to have a fire with Steven on Monday night, October 31st, but his mom got into a fight with Steven on Saturday, on the 29th, and told him that he could not have a fire with Steven on Monday. Dsseay said his fight was because his mom did not want Steven to waste $40 by placing an ad in Auto Trader magazine for her van. Which, if you guys remember in the video with the car, he mentioned like a whole bunch of reasons. So, because they kept asking him over and over again, so he kept giving a different reason. But this is the one in this thing. He was asked what type of materials he and Steven burned in the fire on Wednesday night, and he said branches and other wood they collected from the yard. He said they also burned garbage, a few old tires, and an old seat. Dsseay said he and Steven drove his mom's golf cart around the yard and picked up these branches, wood, tires, and car seat. He estimated that they burned about 5 old tires in the fire. Dsseay said that the car seat was maroon in color and had been sitting next to his mother's garage for about 2 weeks before Steven decided to burn it. He said he helped Steven put the car seat into the fire. After had the fire going for a while, Dsseay thought that they were going to use the car seat in the van that his mom was trying to sell, but for some reason they did not do that. He was asked how Steven contacted him to have a fire. He said Steven called him on his mom's home telephone sometime after supper. Dsseay thought this may have been around 8 p.m. He said Steven said something like, "Why don't you come outside and help me with a fire?" He said he went outside, which is about 5-10 minutes after Steven called him. Steven had already piled some branches and garbage into the fire that had just lit it. He observed 2 black plastic trash bags already in the fire and starting to burn. Dsseay was asked what was in the garbage bags, and he said it looked like regular garbage. Dsseay asked if Steven had a fire on Monday, October 31st, and he said he did not see a fire on Monday. Dsseay was asked if Steven had a fire on Tuesday, November 1st, and he said that he could have been the night he and Steven had the fire, but he thought it was on Wednesday, the 2nd. He did go to school every day last week and said if Steven had a fire during the day, he would not know about it. Dsseay was asked if he noticed any strange odor coming from the fire pit when he and Steven were burning. He said no. He was asked if after the fire, Steven dug through the ashes or smashed any items that had not burned. He said he did not see that. Dsseay did say that Steven took some wire out of the fire and told Dsseay to put it in the tan car over by the old garage near the shop. Dsseay said the length of the wire was long. He thought it was about 20 feet. Dsseay was asked how long he and Steven were outside burning on the fire on Wednesday night, and he said probably 1.5 to 2 hours. Dsseay thought they both left the fire at the same time to go into the residence. He said that the only fire he was aware of that Steven had last week. Dsseay was asked if he had ever gone back inside of Steven's garage since Monday night, October 31st, when he helped push the gray Suzuki into Steven's garage. He said no. Dsseay was asked to recall the events on Monday, October 31st, when he and his brother Blaine got off the school bus and they were walking towards the residence. He said as he and Blaine were walking to the residence, which is right next door to Steven's residence, he observed Steven and Halbach talking outside Halbach's vehicle. He said as they got closer, he and Blaine commented to each other, "That must be the woman who was here from Auto Trader magazine. They take photos of their mom's van." Dsseay said that he and Blaine got closer to the residence. He observed Steven walk towards his residence, observed Halbach get into her car. He did not see her drive away. Dsseay knew about the Auto Trade photographer because a few days before this, his mom told him she was coming to take photos of the van. Dsseay said he and Blaine then walked to their house, and their other brother, Bobby, was not home at the time. Dsseay said Steven never came over to the residence the rest of the day, but Steven did call him on the phone and asked to help him push the gray Suzuki into his garage. Dsseay was asked why his brother Blaine did not help him, and Steven pushed the Suzuki, and he said right after Steven called, Blaine got called one of his friends, Jason Cresco, and he was on the phone with Cresco when he and Steven were pushing the Suzuki. Which I don't think that it changes from Jason to his boss, Blaine's boss.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Dsseay was asked who put the item on the top of the hood of the Suzuki. He said he did not know because he did not do that. Dsseay said after he pushed the Suzuki into Steven's garage, he went back home. Dsseay was asked what the location next to the Suzuki in the garage, and he said there were tools and a snowmobile. Dsseay was asked if another vehicle was parked in the garage, and he said no. How much more left? Okay. Dsseay was asked if the plan for the past weekend was for Steven to stay at the Avery residence at Highland Lane until Sunday, November 6th, when he said yes. He was asked if there was any discussion about Steven going home earlier, perhaps Saturday, and he said no. Dsseay was asked about the mound of rocks and dirt next to Steven's fire pit behind his garage, where the doghouse is located. He said that the mound had been there from the previous occupant of Steven's house, long before Steven moved there. Dsseay was asked if he knew what was underneath the mound, and he said no. Dsseay was asked about the clothes that were found in his mother's fire ring behind her residence. He said those were old clothes that did not fit Dsseay or his brothers anymore. Dsseay was asked if he saw Steven dig up any ashes or haul any ashes out of his fire pit at any time last week, and he said no. Dsseay was asked if he saw Steven do any stomping or crushing in the fire pit at any time last week, and he said no. Dsseay was asked if Steven had the John Deere skid steer over at the fire pit at any day last week, and he said no. He said he has never seen the John Deere skid steer. And Steven, sorry, that's like a tongue twister. John Deere skid steer in Steven's backyard. And the only time he saw Steven operate it was trying to smooth out the road to the residence. Dsseay said the dirt road has a lot of potholes. Dsseay was asked when the last time Steven burned in the fire pit behind his house, other than last week. He could not recall, but he said it was probably several weeks before that. Dsseay was asked when the last time Steven burned in his burn barrel. He said last week. He said Steven probably burns 2 times a week in his burn barrel. Dsseay was advised that there were several tools by the fire pit, such as a shovel, rake, and a trowel, and he was asked if he used any of these tools during the night he and Steven had a fire. He said he may have used a shovel to move the burning material around. The detectives left Dsseay and went inside to the residence to check on the status of the search warrant execution. A couple of minutes later, they returned to Dsseay and told him that the investigators believed that on Monday, October 31st, Steven killed Hallback, burned her body in his fire pit. They told Dsseay that investigators found pieces of female bone and teeth. Dsseay was asked if he helped Steven burn Hallback's body, and he said no. Dsseay was asked if he saw anything in the fire pit that resembled a human body or human bone, and he said no. They told him this was not the time to be lying to protect Steven. Dsseay said he did not know anything about Steven burning Hallback. The interview was terminated at approximately 12:30. And this was done, again, alone. Nobody, no adults or anybody was with him.
Right. And, I mean, just the thing, it contradicts so many things that I just don't even understand how they can say that his confession was credible when it contradicts itself.
Yeah, there's a lot of contradictions in this one from the first time they talked to him in the car to this one.
Here's the thing, too. It would take hours and hours to burn a human body. Hours.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Not 1 or 2 hours. It would take
like
2 days.
Right.
Well, they say that, there's a special way that you can do it outdoors because basically you're trying to contain the heat to break down the body.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard outdoors to do it. But, there are ways of doing it, but none of those ways Steven did.
You would have to put some type of covering on it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you'd have to hold in that heat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd have to burn hot.
A lot of people feel like the tires that Brendan mentioned were used in part of to maintain that heat. But the thing is with tires is that it leaves this black soot everywhere that smoke touches. And Barb specifically has said that they're not allowed, or that they say they can't burn tires, or Barb has made that rule on the property. Don't burn tires because it will stain the houses. So if you
Right.
think about it, there's no stains on the houses, which means they didn't burn tires.
Right. Right.
And we don't know. I mean, this is we're basing this interview on the police officer taking the report, and we don't know what they coerced him into,
Right.
saying for this one. But I do think though that it's interesting um, in this particular one is that they admit in here that they tell him details about the crime that probably haven't been announced yet. Like, we found pieces of
Mhm.
Teresa in the fire pit. We know that Stephen burned her body in the fire pit. I don't know if that was announced yet, but they're planting little bits of details to Brendan each
Right.
time they talk to him about the crime that only the killer would know.
And that's the information that they are manipulating him into revealing.
Right. So then later
Oh,
they can be
you
like,
guys,
"Oh, see, he told us about that."
did you see what Kokomo Corner said?
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm a mortician. It's very hard to imagine burning a small deer and nothing left, the bone and ass.
Oh yeah.
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 Right.
It takes a lot of heat and a lot
Mm-hmm.
of
Mhm. And Kokomo
firepower.
knows what they're talking about because he or she, um, they know because they were a mortician, and they just, um, they have so much more knowledge than what the average Joe does about bodies. But yeah, I know that
Sorry, I
there was
still in my
one
notes.
case.
Yeah.
I did hear of one case that a guy. It was a popular case. I just cannot. I know the female was a pilot, but they burned her body, and he did it successfully. But it took him hours and hours and hours.
Right.
And the one that helped him said that they were there for like 24 hours burning it.
Yeah. It can be done on the
Hello, Mary.
outside. Like, a lot of cultures do that with their, like the Vikings, for instance, they burn their bodies,
Uh-huh.
but
Right.
they do it in a way. There's like an actual process to how they set up the body and how they set up the
Right.
fire pit, and even then, it takes a couple of days for that to get,
Right.
Well, and the
completely broken
smell.
down. Yeah, the
And the
smell.
smell.
Like,
And,
people don't realize when you're burning a body. Like, this is really gruesome, but like,
mhm.
there's a lot of like urine, poop, hair,
Right.
And
um,
the fumes
oil.
coming out.
Yeah,
Yes, it will stick to you. It will stick to you. Your clothing and
Right.
the human fat will come out. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It will come up in the smoke and get on you.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. It's not like a nice barbecue smell. It's a really
Right.
awful, and a lot of people say it's a smell you'll never forget.
Right. And
Imagine
they
this.
do
I
say
mean,
that it's a smell you'll never forget. And
how many of
they
us
were
have
crunched
pinched
for
ourselves?
they would have been crunched for time too, right?
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
because the police were all over this.
Well, and plus you got to imagine this isn't just like a place where people come and work and then go home. This is their home.
Right. Yeah, people in
Charles
and out of there all the
Avery.
time.
Yeah, Charles Avery lives on the property of of the salvage yard. Ma and
Mm,
Pa Avery lived on the property. Um, Barb and her boys lived right next to the property.
mhm.
Like, they had their whole family basically living on this property.
Right.
They would have smelled it too. They
Yeah,
would have
Right.
smelled it.
and that's the other thing. If Brendan was able to hear from the cul-de-sac where he was dropped off all the way down to the trailers, a woman screaming, then so would his grandmother, because that's where she lived, was at that cul-de-sac,
Yeah.
and she didn't hear anything or
She
smell
didn't.
anything.
See,
Nope, none of them did.
this is just something that they couldn't, of all the evidence they have, it couldn't have been uh, just totally covered up that well.
Well,
I
okay, look
mean,
at it this way. You know when you send, like, everybody's done this. They've singed their hair at some point in their life,
Right.
right?
Right.
Okay, that smell times a million. That's probably
Yeah.
gonna stick with you.
Right. And your hair when it singed just stinks. I can't even imagine.
Well, and your skin's gonna smell similar, you know.
Yeah. It is an odor that you don't get out of your nostrils, I'm telling you.
So the next time that police talked to Brendan, so they talked to him on the 6th, the 10th, and now we're in February. This is February 27th. He was actually interviewed twice this day. He was interviewed once at the school, and then they actually drove him to the police station and then talked to him in the interrogation room here.
Okay.
So that's why there's two. There's the audio, which was at school, and then here's the transcript for that, and then here's the actual video of when he was at. Oh, can you see that? Okay.
Let's see.
Wait.
Hang on.
Did I? Can you hear it?
No.
I might have to take it away. Actually, stop share screen and then reshare it because
Okay.
I don't remember if I clicked
Okay.
the audio part of it. Okay, here we go. All right, so it's 40 minutes long, and this was done at the school, I believe, and it was Wiegert, Fassbender, and actually, let me see what the transcript
Mary said,
says.
meanwhile, he talked to Jody on the phone and jail calls about the same time as the murders. Right.
Yeah, Jody called around the same time when these supposed murders were happening. Called Steven.
Wow.
So this was, it was Mark Wiegert and Tom Fassbender were interviewing them. And I believe they're at the school. They're at the Michigan High School. And they're by themselves with Brendan. So again, Brendan doesn't have any lawyer, any parent, or not even a school counselor or teacher sitting with him right now. So he's completely by himself again.
Obviously,
Can you hear it?
Table.
Yes.
Yep.
You can't see it. You hear it.
Got homeschool and stuff. Obviously, laying out a your corner table. Hopefully, like a safety interview. I'm looking at. That's all right. You're not under arrest. You know that. Free to go at any time you want. You listen to us. To answer your questions you don't want. Okay. I would really appreciate if you just kind of relaxed and opened up with us. We're not here to jump in your face, or anything like that. I know that may happen before and stuff like that. We're here more to maybe let you talk or talk.
I just want to say real quickly too, if you guys have problems following along with what's being said, the transcript for this is on BrendanDassey.com. It's right underneath the same link for this audio. So if you guys need to follow along with that, because sometimes Brendan's a typical teenager in here who mumbles and
Yeah.
So sometimes it's a little hard to understand, but yeah, is the volume okay?
The volume's good for me.
Okay.
Is it good for the people in chat?
Because I can make it higher. I thought it was too loud for me, but
See, Betty, is the volume okay? Mary?
well, no one's complaining yet, so
Okay, they're not complaining. I just don't tell us. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Kiku says she can hear it. Okay. All right. It's good.
Hi, Kitty Q.
Be a little about how you've been feeling lately. So I have a feeling some things are on your mind, and I just want to give you that opportunity to talk about it. Why don't you talk to us and talk to what you're thinking about feeling lately. I know something's bothering you, and you know that. It's got to be laying real heavy on you.
Been a tough go of it lately, I'd imagine, huh? Yeah. We definitely understand that.
We're not here to hurt anyone. Just, if you got a chance to meet Teresa's mother and stuff, and got to know them a little, you know that they were decent people too. Just like I think your brothers are, and your mom is. People don't realize that. All the bad press and stuff. And that's all we're thinking on, just to bring justice, no matter how hard or how much it hurts for Teresa. So, just feel free to talk. Go ahead and help us. It's bothering you. It's gone. You're pretty close this week. Kind of figured that was part of it. Were you probably the closest to him? As opposed to like your brothers and stuff? Yeah. Like hang around Steve a lot too. And have you been able to go and visit him at all? Oh, you talk to him on the phone much? No? How's your mom doing? Pretty good. Anything else bothering you? No. Brett, we know that that Halloween stuff you deal with others and helping tend to a fire and stuff like that behind your garage and stuff. Anything that you saw that night that bothering you? You built a fire and you believe that's where Teresa was caught. And you were out there by the fire and stuff. By your own words, you might have got that seat out of vehicle seat or whatever that was, brought it over and someone put it on the fire. Was it you that put the seat on the fire or him? We did go grab it and put it in the fire. What did you see in the fire? Mm-hmm.
That's my little dog snoring.
Saw something in the fire and thoughts that were bothering you, feeling bad about it. Oh, it's ever going to happen. Talk about it. Because I got to believe you did see something in the fire.
And Brendan, in the chat here, by the way, I'm posting Brendan's responses as he says them because I know like it's really hard to hear him because he mumbles.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Thank
so
you.
that's what he's saying. He's not like Mark Wiegert is basically spilling out this whole entire like thing, and then Brendan gives these like 1 or 2 word answers. Like, so Brendan's saying
Thank
that
you.
he saw some branches, a cabinet, and some tires.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
Why I do that? Because Teresa's ball is her name in that seat. The only way her hands in that seat is if she was put on that seat, let her seat was wrapped around her door. said, we're not going to say you did, we're not going to say you did, you're not very much to go out and that. We're here to use the opportunity to come forward and talk about it and see encountered out there that night. You want to know a lot of the reason why we're doing this because how old are you, 16, 17? Yeah. And we've got people back at the Sheriff's Department, District Attorney's Office, and they're looking at this now saying, there's no way that Brendan Dsseay is out there that would see something. They're talking about trying to link Brendan Dsseay with this event. I'm not saying that Brendan did it, I'm saying Brendan had something to do with it, or cover of our pop of it, which would be Brendan Dsseay potentially facing charges for that. Mark and I both going, he's a kid. He had nothing to do with this, and whether Steve got him out there to help build a fire and he inadvertently saw some things, that's what it would be. It wouldn't be that Brendan actually helped him dispose of his body. And I'm looking at you, Brendan, and I know you saw something. And that's what's going on in our game. No, what Steve did this, it hurts. Whether it was an accident that Stephen did it by, whatever happened, he's got to deal with that. Truthfully, I don't believe Stephen intended to kill her. I don't know how it happened. Only Stephen knows how it happened. Potentially you. Do you know how it happened? What did you see in that fire? What? What? And it's plastic. Plastic melts pretty quick, right? It melts pretty easy. Where do you get those days?
You saving it for a pop player. Just leave base on pencil, but they can't see.
Yeah, I know how hard this is. You know, you saw the prison garbage day. I can look, I can't even see her eyes, but look at it and you know, you saw something or something way in the eye. It wouldn't be here bothering you if we didn't know that. We've gotten a lot of information. You know, some people don't care. Some people back there are saying, well, we'll just charge them. So no, let us talk about it. You know, not the opportunity to come forward with information that we have. Get it off of his chest. You know, make it look, you can make it look hard if you want, but if you don't care, you can tell us what to do. That way you don't have to feel bad for Stephen. You have to tell the truth. You have no choice in that. Someone that killed someone. Now they said, I don't think it's intended to do it. But it happened. Still has it. I hate emotion. I love you. I love your body and I hope you understand that. We need to do the right thing. How are we going to live it?
You know, I used to think that police would make these weird ass noises just to annoy people listening to these tapes, like that ringing bell. But ever since last time, Ginger mentioned the whole tick tick noise could be some sort of like hypnotic thing or intimidation thing or something to stress somebody out. And like now I'm starting to rehear this stuff differently. Like, why else would they have a weird, annoying that noise? Like, what was that?
Right.
Just a random thing that goes off and goes like what?
It is.
You know, but yeah, now I'm starting to wonder about that kind of stuff. But anyway, I
Mm.
just
I
wanted to.
always thought that too. That chicken
Does anybody
was.
have any questions so far or any comments? No.
You have to give them a second.
Oh,
I think
okay.
there's a delay kind of chat.
Yeah.
Any questions? Okay, move on.
Okay. Okay.
We can stop it and you can answer them if they pop up.
All right.
Okay.
I got three kids, son that's your age. I'm looking at you and I see you, and I see him and you, I really do. I know how that would hurt me, too. You know how much you would hurt, because it wasn't, what he felt for the person and what he saw, I'm not hearing, like I said, not hearing, oh, it's bad, I got him. You know, get this off your chest. Mark and I, yeah, we're cops. We're investigators and stuff like that, but I'm not right now. A father that has a kid your age too. I feel for you. I got more than come over and give you a hug and then over her. That's something I can do justice to the rest of the whole lives. Want to tell me about your song? I know there's something that's passing by. Talk about maybe high and dry. We'll talk to your mom after this. And we'll deal with it the best we can. For your good, okay? I promise I was not letting high and dry. We both go back. We're here to help you. Yeah, that's nice to know. It's not something that, I mean, we knew that. I'm more interested in what you probably saw in that fire or something. We know she was put in that fire. No doubt about it. The evidence speaks for itself. And do it all good with it. And unfortunately, I'm afraid you saw something that you wish you never would have seen.
See that right
So,
there? What is that?
That's what I'm saying. What is that?
I
Why is that randomly
don't
going off in
know.
this very stressful interview while we, especially, are trying to attentively listen? I don't know. It's weird, isn't it?
It's strange.
I never could figure. I just kind of always thought it was just a weird noise, but like I said, now I'm re-looking at this differently.
What is that, Ginger?
Sorry.
Go ahead, fun. Ginger should know what it is. I don't know. She might have stepped away for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
All right.
We get that off your chest and we can move forward. That's the important thing we need to get out right now. For you. If you're having a tough go of it, it's not just what you see, it's what you saw. You see a hand, blood, something in the fire. Bone. You smell something that was not too right. We were different. We were there now. We know something. What is that? You were both here, Stephen. the cart and stuff. Yeah. Tell me this, when I mean, you got home from school and stuff, were you there when the fire started, or did you come out after the fire was going pretty good? Yeah, it started. And were there tires on it before you got out there? And then, what time did you go into the house that night? And was she still out there then? My brother came home from school. And what brother's that?
Two at 10 or 10:30.
And that same night, did you help him push a vehicle somewhere too? Yeah. And what'd you do with that? Was that a Suzuki? And where'd you push that? Yeah, I pushed it to his garage. And what else was in that garage at that time? Just moped. Yeah, moped in there? Anything else? What I no other vehicle. Some other things. So, didn't see you in that fire.
What was in the garbage bag? Were they heavy?
Did you help carry them out, or did you carry them from the house or garage? Father. You're pretty down. She just break out. She said, why? Nothing to do with this, is it? Well, I hope you're getting over that. She's a girl. It's my mother's, right? Talk to your mom about it at all? She said the same thing. My mother girl. My mom told me that time. True. True. I won't feel that.
And we know that Steve told you to say certain things when he just came and talked to you. Okay, I know that. We've been told that. What did Steve tell you to tell us? What kind of stuff? Did he tell you what to say? I heard that he did. I heard, and I was told, Brendan, Steve told you what to say and what not to say. Because it was you and him over that fire. And only you and him knew what was going on there. It's really important that you be honest, okay? Everybody gets an opportunity with Tom and I, okay? We want to give you that opportunity to be honest. We want to help you through this Obviously, it's bothering you. This whole thing's bothering you and the rest of your family. But you'll never, ever get over it unless you're honest about it. This will bug you to the day that you die, unless you're honest about it. But we want to go back and tell people that, Brendan told us what he knew. We want to be able to tell people that Brendan was honest. It's not like Steve. He's honest. He's a good guy. He's going to go fights in this life. But in order for us to do that, you need to be honest with us. And so far, you're not being 100% honest. Okay? Tom and I have been doing this job a long, long time, longer than you've been alive. And our experience and our knowledge of this job tells us that you're not being totally honest with us. And there's no way that you're going to get over this and move on in your life without being honest. You'll see this everybody fire. Steve doesn't care about you right now. He cares about himself. You let me hang on the car. You told me to say we got off the bus, but you saw. We all saw. The only one that we talked to is the other brothers, Robbie, Brian, that is inconsistent. Is that part of it's because of that, because we like Stephen, we're trying to help him, but it's guided that way. We're trying to couple that with it all happened. You see, and we just started honest with us about some things that way well. Oh, here, usually trying to play with the cops. What else did he tell you? Anyone else fired like that night? All night. I think there's a reason for that. Steve felt he could trust you to not say anything. So there's a fire. And it's reason. So you're wrong. You're damaging that. Cover up for hurting that girl. That girl that did nothing. How would you feel if that was your sister? Yeah. Mm-hmm. That burn pit, Brendan, was no bigger than this table. Okay? You know how they go. I find it quite difficult to believe that if there was a body in that, Brendan, that you wouldn't have seen something. A hand, a foot, a head, hair, something. We know you saw something. And maybe you've tried to block it out. But it's really important that you remember, think back. Really got in the garage or the house, the fire pit. Really saw something. Margaret and Wolf, I will go back to the kids. You didn't do it. Has to be married to forward, finally, roll nothing. Imagine how it's raining on him. You'll understand that. We'll go to bat for you. But you have to To be honest with you. It's okay, no. It's okay. Sometimes you better hide yourself because of it. And I'm trying at night because of this stuff happening. I promise you, I'm not going to hang on very long. But we've got to have the truth. The truth is terrible. John Fielding, John, and Gary. Sure, I'm just going to tell you. Dad. We're not going to run back until your grandma and grandpa, what you told us, or anything like that. Okay? So, let's talk about it. Talk to us. Where to get the clothes from? Right. We're in the garage. We're in the garage, really. Back left side. Your car's still. That's the truth. Okay. Did you see some other garments or anything like that? No. What are your shoes? Is there blood on those clothes? Be honest, Brandon. You already know you know. Help us out. Think of yourself here. Help that family out. It's gonna be all right. Okay. Is it blood on those clothes? Okay. Where was the blood? Blood on the shirt? You're starting to get it. You're starting to get it out now, okay? You're all right. When the fire pit got full, you have buried an head instead of you had somewhere else where they couldn't go. Oh, so they came from behind the garage to get a towel. He said, why? Did you know why? Where did he tell you those clothes came from? He said, kind of knew better, don't you? No better. They're girls' clothes, aren't they? They have to hang or anything.
just want to mention real quick that this detail about the clothes burning, Steven did admit to burning clothes, and he admitted to burning Jody's clothes. He burnt like a couple of like productive shirts or whatever that she was wearing or something like that, because he didn't. And they had a phone call about this when Jody was in jail, and then even when they switched roles, and then Steven was in jail, and then he was calling anyway. So like, yeah. So he said that he burned Jody's clothes. So I mean, Brendan may have seen women's clothes, but it was probably Jody's, and they were in a bag. So
Pants and shirt and everything else. Blood on the shirt.
They're on the shirt. We're on the shirt with it. We're a button-up shirt.
What kind of pants?
What else did he get out of the garage?
Let's go to the parts that are really going to hurt more. Cool. Talk about the wall. Kind of and the feeling. Saw something fire that you're trying to make something better.
It's not your fault, remember that.
Very, very important. Like 3 o'clock. I'm sure they didn't. Once you get this off the chest, out the over. You're not feeling it. Just have what's happening.
I think that's you. Are you making that? Hold on, actually. Oh, okay. It's them.
So go ahead. Close your ears. You got that on your chest. You know, not no bone in the dog. Fire. I can't. We got a lot of important stuff out there now. Take a breath. Let's go over the parts of things. Okay, so you mentioned toes, fingers, parts of hands and feet, and then what you thought maybe was the stomach area or maybe midsection of torso. You see big parts of the legs, parts of the legs, arms. You sure you didn't see your arm? This is very hard. It's easy, not easy, but it's easier to say you saw a toe or a finger. But when you start saying, I saw a hand or a face or hair, stuff like that, that's more personal. But I find it very, very hard when you see the skull or the head. You see part of the head or maybe it's their skull. Somewhat. I know this is hard, but can you describe what you saw when you meet someone? Did you see any hair? When you say your forehead, white bowling already, or was there still flesh on it? Are all the body parts connected yet? I mean, you'd say yes or no. Yeah. So all the body parts were pretty much connected. And you saw the toes, which means they were probably connected. That's correct. Which means they were the 3 foot one connected to the legs. So they're going to ask you this question. You're saying this, you see a body part. You pretty much you see the body. Is that accurate? You saw her body in there. Can you just say yes or no for me, Brent? And then the shovel and the rake. Not even tell me the actual thing. Yeah. But you did. You never said anything to him. And you told this to anyone. And if that was the bottom of your
Yeah, I understand. It's normal. Then I'm going to ask you a difficult question, okay? Did you help him put that body in the fire? If you did, it's okay.
The body in the fire before you get out of the fire.
When did you see it? When you first went out there, or when? So let's just go through you. What time did you go out there? What time? So at 9 o'clock you go out and you go right by the fire? Yes? And you see what exactly? Explain to me exactly what you saw at 9 o'clock.
Tigers, like every day, and years ago,
So you go through 9 o'clock, you see the branches, the tires, the garbage that's all on the fire already. Is it burning already? And then you go get the car seat. How do you get that? No car. Okay. So you go get the seat, and then what do you do?
During this process, is he using a rig, shovel to mix things up and start things?
So then after you throw the seat on, what happens? When do you see the body parts? He's pushing what on there? Okay. Tell me again, what do you see in that fire? First you see the feet, and then what? You saw the hands and the forehead, and then what did you see?
Got some light, came back, and that might
Did people fall asleep?
No, I'm listening.
Broken. I wonder if she fell asleep.
Oh, she probably just stepped away. I mean, I didn't answer earlier because I was driving, but I will tell you what I was thinking.
Yeah, go for it.
Um, okay, what I was thinking when I heard those high tones is I could barely hear it because, and I'm like, okay, have you ever heard of like Pavlov's dog and all the bells that they
Yeah.
use? That's what it reminded me of. Like, you condition people. You can condition a dog, you can condition a cat, you can any animal you can condition with sound, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sound or habit, yes. Yeah, it becomes routine. But the thing is, if they're playing these tones or whatever, are they playing it at a certain time? Like, you're not giving us the answer we want. Beep. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like an annoying sound, and then ask him repeat the question. If they're repeating the questions around the time that these sounds are happening, it could be mental conditioning of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah, a specific response.
Right.
Like, I mean, I'd have to look into it, but I know they did these kind of experiments with people in like government. things, you know. So
Yeah.
I'll have to
But
look into it. But it'd be interesting to hear how many of these have these weird tones.
yeah. There should be more to this interview, and I'm not sure why it cut off after 40 minutes, but the like I said, the rest of it though, I wish I could post a link in chat, but you can, like I said, I keep saying you guys can go to BrendanDassey.com and then you can see the transcript of the whole entire thing. And yeah, you can kind of see how they try to get him to say certain things, and then when they finally let him have control of the conversation, he doesn't mention them again, and then they have to go back, and then because they're trying to get him to get his story correct, I feel like. So when
Well,
they
well, if
finally,
you
hmm?
use tones to do that, you can also okay. Like if you look into the malleability of memory, right?
Right,
It's the same thing. If you repeat something, that's how they brainwash people. These cat, you know, it's
yeah,
how they condition people into certain responses. It's there's, I mean, a lot of that seems to be going on with him. You
yeah.
know,
Well, that's yeah, exactly it. They uh was there an interview of Brendan before his first interview on camera? Yeah, these are the ones that we've been going over before his first interview on camera. Because the first one on camera is actually on this day on February 27th when he gets taken into the police. So he says this stuff during the school thing, and then they bring him to the station, and then they have him repeat basically the same thing, and he he kind of does, and but yeah, the March 1st one is the one where he's arrested.
well, okay. You know what that reminds me of?
Mhm.
Okay, you've seen the interviews with Henry Lucas, right?
Yeah,
Where
the
he was admitting to things he didn't even do
right,
because
Yeah.
they were giving him food, they were giving him shakes. You see what I mean?
right.
It's the same reward system.
Well, and yeah, and they were treating him like positively every time he admitted to something, and they would like
Hmm.
praise him for it. And yeah, it's the
Hmm.
same thing with Brendan. They didn't give him. I think they offered him food and stuff, but like, I think just him knowing that they were like, "Good job, buddy. You know, you're doing a good job. You're really helping us out here," and
Yep,
because he is a people pleaser.
conditioning.
Yeah, he wants to make the adults in his life happy, so he wants
Right.
to.
Was
Yeah.
that you broken?
Yeah, that was me.
Did you fall
Yeah,
asleep?
no,
Oh, okay.
no, I didn't fall asleep. My little dog, she's quit snoring now, though.
I think, yeah, I was gonna say I did hear snoring, so it must have been your doggy.
Yeah, that's my little doggy. She snores. People
That's,
say sometimes that I fall asleep and it's my little dog.
that's cute.
She's always doing that. She'll be up in a minute. She's starting to wake up, and she'll be
Yeah,
telling me to get off here.
yeah.
She tells me my time limit.
My dog does
She's
too. In general, she'll sit there and look at me like it's time for bed, mom.
hmm So we'll play the next one. Will be what's the next one?
The next one is they bring after this interview on the same day they bring him to the police station, and so the next interview would be the first time you guys see him on camera being
Okay,
interviewed.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah,
We'll do
and
that one next week.
okay, that
Cool.
sounds like a deal.
Yeah.
You know what? Thank you, Becca. Too. I'm telling you, the more you show us, the more
Uh huh.
I learn. You
Yeah.
know?
Right.
Oh, I'm more than
Yeah.
happy to talk about Brendan and Steven. I'm not as versed in Steven's stuff because I feel like Brendan's is so easy for me. And I
Uh
think it's
huh.
because there isn't a lot of evidence or anything like that. But Stevens is like, oh my gosh, there's so
His
much,
is
so many
it's so
details. And
complicated.
yeah, it's a lot complicated. And they're always discovering new things in Stevens. And and Brendan's is it's actually unfortunate in Brendan's because he doesn't have like DNA evidence or anything like that. So there's what can he do? He
Yeah.
just has his words that he's in these interviews.
Well,
But
the Innocent Project, they did take up, they did take up his case, right?
no, the Innocent Project, no, the center, the what is it? The Center of Wrongful Convictions of Youth, based in
Oh,
Illinois. That's
okay,
with Steve Drizzen and Laura Nyrider. Um,
okay,
they're the ones that, because Brendan's case is a little bit more unique because he was a minor during these
right,
interviews.
right.
So they took on his case, and plus
Oh, good.
the Innocent Project generally takes on cases that has DNA they can work with.
Right.
Um,
It's guaranteed. It's almost guaranteed. I mean, that they
right.
can
No,
do something.
it's just so they can like scientifically test things and like
Right.
look through the evidence and stuff like that. Like they normally take on cases like that deal with more factual
Uh-huh.
evidence, and it's because it's really hard to take on a case that is like Brendan's. It's just based on words because it's almost nearly impossible.
Yes, toxicity. It's like Wade Wilson. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
I
Very
barely
complicated.
follow that case.
He is a jokester. I'm telling you, that's a
I
joke.
hear he's a psychopath.
He is.
I
But,
don't know, but he
but he's
looks like the Joker.
he
Hmm.
does. He is like weird. He's a weird dude.
That's what I hear. Like
Yeah.
I don't watch a lot of.
I've
I
been
mean, I
watching
watch
it
a
here and
lot of.
there.
Yeah, I mean, I watch other cases. I just don't pay attention
Yeah.
to some stuff.
I
So.
watch, when Alex put something out about him, and I watched some of Melissa Jade's.
Oh right.
But
Yeah, that's
yes,
right.
he
She
is
does
a
do a lot
weirdo.
of Wade Wilson, doesn't she? She's been
Yes, she
thriving.
does. Yes, she has really been. They've been going to town on those phone calls. Getting the
Yeah.
phone calls, and um, they are they're dipping into stuff that we never dipped into before.
Oh,
As
okay.
far as true crime,
Yeah.
the phone calls.
That's what I love. Even though going over cases and stuff, and some that are covered more than others, it's
Hmm.
like fresh set of eyes, fresh set of ears here and there. Here's more you
Right.
can pick out.
Well,
Yeah.
it's just like I was saying to Broken while you were driving, I guess, is that I never thought about the perspective of hearing these noises during these interviews could have been placed there intentionally to confuse or, um, you know,
Disorient. Yep.
disorient or even try to train him to,
Hmm.
recognize
Did you hear those bells in this interview? Did you hear those bells, Ginger?
Yeah,
like
it
a
was
high pitched noise. The
yeah,
only
like a
other
high
Yeah,
thing,
pitched
the high
tone.
pitched bells.
yeah, the only other thing I could think of that could have been also was maybe the school bell, but
Maybe.
I
Yeah.
don't know what the school bell there sounds like, and it sounded
Right.
really high pitched to me, like really
Yeah.
awful sounding. So I don't know.
It was strange. But yes, thank you all for being here. We appreciate y'all being here. Toxicity, thank you for being here. Um, Sticking it out with us. Know that some of this can get, kind of boring and kind of dreary, but you just learn from it. You have to have uh, all of it laid out to you, the facts. It's going to get really interesting, though. It
Yeah,
really
I
is.
mean, and I find it's interesting because, like I said, each interview they tell him a little bit more about the crime,
Right,
and
right.
it all builds up into March 1st. Like, and a lot of
Yes.
people, that's one of the things a lot of people say was, well, how can he admit to all this stuff if, unless he was there? It's, well, you have to look
Right.
at the whole picture of every single interview leading up to the March 1st one.
It's
Yeah.
a trail of breadcrumbs they're laying for the kid.
Yes.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
They're building a narrative for him to follow.
Yes, they are. And I want to thank Ginger for being up here with us and going through this with me, and Beckett, you.
Yeah, thank you
You're
for
just so
having me.
wonderful for doing this. I
Yeah.
appreciate you so much. And talk to Dsseay and Kitty Coo and Mary and Betty Dan Boots. Thank y'all for being in here and
Oh,
chatting.
and I
It
do
means
want
a
to
lot, y'all,
I
to
do
be in
want
our
to
chat.
say real quickly that we are planning a rally for Stephen and Brendan, and it's going to be May. Was it 17th and 18th? I believe it's that Friday and Saturday, and it's going to be in Manitowoc. And we are planning on trying to have like certain special guest speakers. And I don't want to say, I don't want to like preemptively say who is going to be there, but I
Yeah.
hear a rumor that certain um, fancy people with big names might show up. So
Oh, good. Well, I plan on being at that one if I can.
I hope so. I'll be
I
there.
hope so too.
Yeah, I'd
I
love
hope
to
so
meet
too.
anybody. I'm going to be there, and I'd love to meet anybody in person. So
Yes, that
yeah,
would be so wonderful. I'm going to
yeah,
try my best to be there.
I hope so. I really do.
And yes, I hope y'all all have a good night. Thank y'all for coming. And I know Becca Chu wants as many as the rally in May as she can get muster up. So we're going to try to get some people together, and I'm going to try to get some people together and go with me. So,
Yeah,
but
well, that would be awesome.
but thank y'all for being here, and I appreciate y'all. And I hope y'all have a good night.
Yes, thank
And I
you.
see y'all next Saturday.
Yep, I'll see you
See you
next
next.
Saturday.
Okay, see you next Saturday. And Ginger, see you next Saturday.
Sure.
Okay. All right. We love y'all. We hope y'all have a good night.
Good
Bye.
night.
Good night. Bye.